People in the Southern California community of Cedar Glen are mourning a beloved neighbor and clothing store owner who displayed a rainbow pride flag named Laura Ann Carleton. Laura Ann was a mother of 9 in her blended family, and on Friday, she was shot and killed at her store after a dispute over the pride flag she hung outside her store called Magpie, according to the sheriff of San Bernardino County.
Investigators determined prior to the shooting that Ikeguchi tore down a pride or rainbow flag that was hanging in front of the Magpie store and yelled many homophobic slurs toward Carleton. Carleton, who worked at Magpie, confronted Ikeguchi, and during the confrontation, Ikeguchi shot and killed Carleton.
NBC's Maggie Vespa spoke to a friend and neighboring store owner about that moment.
Basically screamed, "Lori's been shot. Close your door. He might still be out there." And I said, "Oh my gosh, is she okay?" And she said, "No, I think they're saying she's been killed." And hearing the words is something very shocking.
It is shocking. This is the latest in what has been a string of violent attacks on LGBTQ folks, people expressing support for them. Just over 3 weeks ago, a 28-year-old gay dancer in New York City was just out with his friends when he was stabbed to death at a service station. A group of men confronted the group at the station, reportedly hurling homophobic slurs and telling them to stop dancing. The suspect in the killing is 17 years old. A recent report tallied over 350 incidents of harassment, vandalism, and assault against LGBTQ folks from June 2022 through April 23. Noah Goldberg is a staff writer for the Los Angeles Times who spent time in the community of Cedar Glen to report on the shooting. And Noah, thanks for joining us. First, just tell me a little bit about Laura Ann and the shop and how she was known in that community.
Laura Ann Carleton was a shop owner and advocate. She was known for being equally entrepreneur and advocate for the LGBTQ community. She owned this shop in Cedar Glen, which is right by Lake Arrowhead. She also had a shop with the same name in Studio City called Magpie. And according to everyone who knew her in the area, she was just a lovely person who really cared. And she hung this pride flag up outside her shop. And even though people sometimes gave her trouble about it, I know there was a story a neighboring shop owner told me about some guy in a pickup truck who asked her to take it down and said, "Why don't you have an American flag up?" which she actually did. But she just said, "You don't have to shop at my store and you can keep going, but I'm going to keep it up. It's my store."
Tell us about what we know about the incident itself and how it transpired.
Yeah, so I spoke to someone today who saw CCTV footage of the shooting. Basically, you can see the suspect, Travis Ikeguchi, seemingly yelling, and Laura Ann Carleton never even left her store. She was shot after the guy tried to pull down the pride flag. She was shot once, and then the guy shot through the store window and then ran off, and he was tracked down by the San Bernardino County Sheriff, and after a confrontation during which he shot at deputies, they shot him to death.
It seems, again, when this first happened, it seemed like it, you know, when you get early details of a report like this, you want to make sure that it is what it appears to be. It appeared to be motivated by hatred and motivated by hatred at queer folks and the flag. It seems subsequently the reporting that we have about the public profile of the shooter would seem to confirm that that was the motivation.
I would say it certainly confirms it. Right after they announced who he was, I went and found his profile on Gab, which is a social media website, as well as his profile on X or Twitter. And he had posted all kinds of homophobic, anti-police, anti-abortion stuff on his profiles. He had even called for potentially killing police. And then I looked a little further into him today through court records, and I found that his father was actually a Florida Highway Patrol state trooper. So that was a little odd. His parents were divorced, and he'd moved out to California a bunch of years ago. And he had claimed on social media that he and his mother were homeless and that his father wasn't providing for them. But yeah, everything you see and everything we found out right after this occurred seems to be borne out by what he was posting himself on his social media.
I'm wondering how this is reverberating in that town. Such a shocking and horrifying act of violence and so clearly motivated by hate.
Yeah, I mean, I went out there yesterday and people were showing up all day outside the store and dropping off flowers and dropping off more pride flags. And I would kind of track people down as they walked away, and people were crying and hugging each other. It's a very close-knit community right in that strip mall where all these shop owners have their places, and everyone's just, completely torn apart by this.
That flag, it was a sort of radical act to display that flag for a long time, particularly in my youth and walking around, when I passed Stonewall and Christopher Street in the Village and other places. And then over time felt less radical, more normalized, more central as a sort of figure embraced in America. And there's been a very concerted effort over the last several years to try to render it anathema again. I wondered if you talked to any queer folks there, or how people are feeling about what it means for them and their safety.
Yeah, in Cedar Glen, it wasn't always the easiest thing to display a flag like that. I spoke to a store owner who was just a couple stores down named Bob Stewart, and he's a gay man. And when Laura Ann Carleton put up the pride flag, he actually warned her. He said, I appreciate what you're doing as a gay man, but as a business owner, it might not be the wisest decision to have that up. And it turned out to be much worse for her than just a bad business decision.
Noah Goldberg, as a writer at the Los Angeles Times, did some great reporting there in the aftermath of this awful atrocity. Thank you so much for making some time for us.
Thanks for having me, Chris.